I think we're all excited to hear from Noura Erakat. Noura is a professor of African Studies and Criminal Justice at Rutgers University, New Brunswick. She has a very long bio that is so incredibly impressive. She wanted me to cut it because it's, mashallah, so long that she's accomplished so much and has done so much work for Palestine that we could be sitting here for a while. But it's better that you hear from her herself. Please help me welcome Noura Erakat.
Assalamu alaikum, Chicago. What an honor to be here, to witness your power, to the work that you do to raise our flag. I am so impressed, especially by the organizers. AMP has long been part of my tradition. Tariq Khalil has been a longtime friend. But to come here and also see the women who hold down this organization as they hold down so much of our Palestine work all over just makes me so confident that not only is Palestine the future, but women are the future as well. We raise the Palestinian flag today to affirm our belonging to a land where there is a life worth living. As early as 1910, Palestinians were always organizing against the theft of their land when the JNF attempted to buy land in Al-Fula, and the residents of Al-Fula organized themselves and organized the rest of the Ottoman Empire in a movement against Zionism as early as 1910. In 1921, an imperial order colluded against Palestinians when they designated this land as a site of Jewish settlement in contravention of our people and our struggles. In 1949, they contravened and betrayed Palestinians again when the UN recognized Israel as a member state of the UN and attempted to normalize the Nakba. And today the world order is attempting to betray Palestinians and humanity again when they are attempting to normalize genocide. But for all of the cowardice, inhumanity, and betrayal of this world order, Palestinians have stood undeterred in their quest not only to return, but to rehabilitate a land that misses and needs its stewards for protection, where fake pine trees planted by the JNF in Canada Park burn because they do not belong there. We too will return to protect that land. Even in death, Palestinians have not relented. 23-year-old Hussam Shbat, the Palestinian journalist who never left the north and documented the harrowing genocide of his people. Hussam left us with a will and a mandate when he said to us, remember, the occupier's struggle is against our existence on our land. Our mere existence will always be the strongest form of resistance, and we will always resist. And we have resisted, steadfast against cruelty by singing موطني. ونحن بنحكي بالعربي نتذكر شو هو التطريز والكفية. We practice our religious traditions, we celebrate our heritage, because Palestine is not just against something oppressive. Palestine is about building the world that we deserve. We have resisted our erasure over and over again for over 78 years. In the direct aftermath of the Nakba, imagine, in the aftermath of removal, Palestinians crossed the border from Lebanon and Syria, from Jordan, by foot to return to their homes. By 1949, our numbers were so great that the Israeli state then instantiated a shoot-to-kill policy in 1949. And by 1956, returning by foot. They say that we are an existential threat, but not because of anything we do, simply because we refuse to disappear. We are a threat to a settler, sovereign identity that feeds a mythology that there was ever a land without a people. Our existence shatters that vulnerability, which is why they continue to harm us. 15 years ago, on the 63rd anniversary of the Nakba, thousands of Palestinians coordinated protests in Gaza, the West Bank, Lebanon, Syria. These demonstrators marched to the border again from Marun al-Ras, Majd al-Shams, Qalandia, Ubeit Hanun. Israeli gunfire killed 12 Palestinians and injured hundreds of others, including 31 children. 8 years ago, on the 70th anniversary of the Nakba, Palestinians in Gaza launched one of the most impressive civil society protests, not only for Palestinians, but for people across the world, when they initiated the Great March of Return. 30 to 40,000 Palestinians every Friday at the militarized perimeter. They keep asking about our Gandhis. We've given them Muhammad, Mahmoud, Ahmed, Hussam, Yahya. We have given them the model of resistance, and yet they still point to others because they refuse to see us, and we have refused to surrender. In that march, 218 Palestinians were shot down like birds. 23,000 Palestinians were injured, paralyzed, amputated. And people were not paying attention, but we were. That blood is what flows through us that makes us continue to resist, including Ahmed Muhammad Sha'ban, who was expelled from Simsim at the age of 10 and took refuge in northern Gaza in 1948. He was one of the marchers in 2018, and he said, when these activities started, I participated in the hope of returning to my village with my siblings, my children, my grandchildren. Today, at the age of 85, I still hope of returning to my village, my home, and my land. Later, in January 2025 and in October 2025, when Palestinian survivors of the Nakba in Gaza walked home by foot against all odds, one of the most significant marches of return that we have ever seen. Our return is ongoing. Our Nakba is ongoing, but our return is ongoing. And they marched to the north, back to their homes, including the Abu Jarrad family. When they arrived to their home, everything was demolished. Their home was just a shell of what it was. And there was a single vine that was flowing from the edge of that home. And Na'man Abu Jarrad leaned over and began to tend to his vine. We find life in everything. Like scholar and poet Rafif Ziadeh has said, Palestinians teach life. And to have life, we must resist. This flag, which I'm so excited to see raised, is a symbol of that dedication to life, to our sumud, and a refusal to surrender.
That's right. Woo!
For Jinan, thank you. In 1967, after Israel occupied the rest of Palestine that wasn't occupied in 1948, the Israeli military made it illegal to carry this flag. And 10 years later, they said not only was the flag illegal, but we are so threatening to them that the colors were illegal. And that is when Khaled Surani, one of our great artists, who have also kept our movement and our life and our people alive, turned the iconic watermelon into a symbol of our resistance, because it is red, green, black, and white. Today, nearly 60 years after the prohibition of this flag and these colors, countries all over the world are banning the flag because they cannot stop us. The only way to defeat Palestinians and to destroy us is to destroy everything in the world. And so destroy they are. In March 2025, a high school district in New York painted over a young student's parking space where she drew a flag, a kufiya, and a watermelon, and said, "Peace be upon you, assalamu alaikum." In 2025, the NYPD was trained to understand the watermelon and the kufiya as a sign of anti-Semitic hatred. Earlier, the Human Rights Watch that same year had told us that they were shadow banning accounts on Instagram and Meta because of the watermelon. In a Stanford daycare, 13 preschoolers painted watermelons on pieces of paper. And even there, the community, because of its anxiety and its fragility, protested against these preschoolers who showed humanity. The controversy over displaying the flag, even its colors, is a reminder that what happens to Palestinians is never just meant for us. We are the canary in the coal mine. We are not the lowest hanging fruit. We cannot be forgotten and sacrificed. We are on the front line of fighting for everyone. Remember that the first immigrants in the US to be tried under anti-communist and anti-Islamic laws were Palestinians, the LA8, 7 Palestinians and 1 Kenyan. The first immigrant to be criminally prosecuted based on secret evidence was a Palestinian, Mazen al-Najjar. The first professor to have his tenure revoked was a Palestinian, Stephen Salaita. The first citizen to have her citizenship revoked was a Palestinian, Rasmiya Odeh. The first green card holder to have the Secretary of State deem him unfit to be in this country was a Palestinian, Mahmoud Khalil. We are the front line. We are not the lowest hanging fruit, and we fight for everybody. Now, this attack on immigrants, academic freedom, free speech reflects this phenomenon. Like Zionists, white nationalists are using their positions of power to protect their power. Can you imagine? When we say Palestinian power, it's because the powerful are against us. But when white nationalists say white power, they are asking for domination. When Zionists say Jewish power, as they do in their political party, they are asking for the right to dominate. If we can't recognize that there, we are making it possible here for now white nationalists to gut all those things that we deem as part of our heritage of resistance. Israel did not make the United States like this. Obviously, we are on indigenous stolen lands. No one taught the US anything about absolute force. But US support for Israel has emboldened racial supremacists in the United States to advance their vision of supremacy. Richard Spencer, an alt-right conservative leader, said it best in 2018 when Israel passed the nation-state law and said that only Jews have the right to self-determination from the river to the sea, and he applauded them and said, "This is the future of European sovereignty and white ethno-nationalism." Today we raise the Palestinian flag as an affirmation of Palestinian life, as well as all forms of resistance against fascism in the United States. This is a small part of an effort nationally and globally to fight back. Congresswoman Daley Ramirez is doing that work in Congress with Block the Bombs, the beginning of ending all support to Israel, which now has 70 co-sponsors. Rashida Tlaib, Congressman Rashida Tlaib, is doing the work. Can you imagine in Congress they are celebrating and recognizing ongoing Nakba that now has 13 co-sponsors. So thank you to you all who made that possible for your representative to be able to do that. She's wonderful and brave and ready, but she cannot do that without you all building power. So thank you for the relentless work and your commitment. May we have the courage, the steadfastness, the brilliance, the agility, and the faith that Palestinians have had for over 100 years and counting, to believe that we can be free, to know that we have no other choice but to be free. Free Palestine, and may Palestine free us all. Thank you.